So today's training is going to be about sponsorship, putting our sponsorship opportunities into Greater Giving, what you need to put in Greater Giving versus Dynamics. There is some duplicate entry just because the two systems don't talk to each other, but we're trying to make it a little bit easier for you by not making you put everything in Greater Giving. Okay, so your pipeline is going to be tracked out of Dynamics. That's where you're going to put all of your potential sponsors, set their goals, do all of that. And then once you have a confirmed sponsor, whether it's via verbal confirmation or they've signed the agreement form, then you can go ahead and put them into Greater Giving. So Greater Giving is only going to have your confirmed sponsors in it. If you want to do all the double entry, you can certainly track your pipeline out of Greater Giving, but it's not required. Okay, so let me grab an event. So either when the event director gets that verbal, okay, we're in for however much, and they let you as a support person know that, or when they get that signed agreement form or a check from the sponsor, then you can go ahead into Greater Giving. And first thing you're going to do is go to View Edit Supporters, and you'll look up that company name. Okay, so you see Poughkeepsie Grand Hotel. If you go into Edit on that, and then click the Sponsor tab, and say they are a sponsor, so check that is a sponsor box, you'll see some more information drops down, and you're going to choose from affiliate type, either new or returning. Don't use any of those other three. Either they've sponsored in the past or they have not. It's a safe bet that if they're already in the system, they're returning. If you're adding them, then they're new. So we're going to say returning, and then we're going to add their opportunity. So as long as all of your packages have been created in Greater Giving, which was part of the Getting Your Event Year Started training, was putting in all your pricing on your packages, as long as that's been done, then when you choose your targeted sponsorship package, it should auto-populate your goal. Oops. Try to find one here. There we go. So if they're the Men Go Red sponsor, it automatically populates that goal with the $2,500. You're going to fill in the asked amount of $2,500. The ask date, if you know the date that the proposal was given to the company. If you don't know, that's fine. You can leave it blank. This is just for tracking purposes. And then your solicitation status is going to be asked. Even though they may have given you a verbal or you may have that signed agreement in hand, you do not change that solicitation status to LOI. That's done by a designated person who reviews those contracts in the repository to make sure that they are all complete and correct and everything. So you're just going to change it to asked, and then you'll put in your solicitors. Primary solicitor should be either your ELT person that made the ask or helped make the ask, or your chair. This should never be an AHA staff person. If an event director cold called a company or didn't have any ELT assistance in making that ask, then you leave that primary solicitor blank and just put the AHA staff person in a secondary. So you can have one without the other. You can have both of them filled in if it was both an ELT member and AHA staff, or two ELT members. But this should never be completely blank. Somebody had to make the ask to that company. Once you fill in that solicitor, so I'm just going to fill in Danielle. Once that's filled in, you can save. And that's all you need to do to create an opportunity. So now you can see that Poughkeepsie Grand Hotel has the check mark under sponsor. Now, whoever is responsible for your area's repository, when they receive that sponsorship agreement form and they look it over, it's all right, then they will come in and actually sell your sponsorship. And they will change, get back in here, they will change your status to LOI and they'll fill in that committed amount. So they'll switch to LOI, they'll fill in the committed amount, and they will sell the sponsorship. The only exception to this rule is if you get a signed LOI and a check at the same time. If you receive both at the same time, then you can go ahead and skip right to paid, put in your committed amount, and check the box to sell the sponsorship. And then save. And when you save, you'll see that now you have that green check mark with the stars saying they are active, which means they have a sale. Any questions there? When you mark something as paid, make sure you're also putting in that payment. So you'll go to Manage Sales and Payments, and you'll see our sale that we just created. And then under Payments, you'll add a payment. So if you have the check in hand, then you'll put in, however much the check is for. If they're doing 2 payments of $12.50, whoops, you could do that. The date is the date on the check. Check number, pretty obvious. And then check off the sale that payment is to be applied to, and save. So now you can see in our summary, we have sale for $2,500, payment for $12.50, amount due $12.50. So technically, because there's still an amount due, our sponsorship opportunity should not say paid. Until you have a 0 balance due, you should not mark that opportunity as paid. Once you come in here and you add that second payment, let's say they give us cash for the second payment, and save. Now that balance due is 0. We can shortcut right back into the supporter record, go to that sponsor tab, and mark it paid. So this is the most commonly missed step in this process. People will put the payment in, but they won't come back into the opportunity and mark it paid. So it looks like it's still outstanding, even though it has actually been paid. Questions? Next is an in-kind opportunity. So if you have an in-kind sponsor and you want to track that, you're going to add your opportunity. Your sponsorship package is going to be in-kind. You're going to leave all of the amounts blank or put zeros in, and your solicitation status is going to be paid, because they don't actually give us any cash, so we don't want it rolling up into any kind of pipeline. You'll put in your solicitor information and you can go ahead and sell it. And then what you'll do is up at the top in the sponsor notes, you can put in what that in-kind donation was. So donated centerpieces at $50 per centerpiece times 30 tables is $1,500. So you could track the value of that donation without actually having the money roll up. Any questions? Alrighty. So out on SharePoint, if you go to Workspaces, and under Interdepartment Folders, go to Development. And then over on the left-hand navigation, you can click on Greater Giving, or you can go through this FDA Systems training box. Totally up to you. And then go to the Greater Giving resources if you use the box. So from here, all of the training recordings have their own folder. There is also a channel on YouTube for the training recordings. So you can subscribe to that channel and you can listen to this recording again if you'd like to. All of the links and the links to the channel are right in there in that folder. And the recordings themselves are there as well. Some people do have a hard time doing the recordings through SharePoint, which is why I created the YouTube channel. And then if you have any questions or don't remember something I went over, you always have the manual, which you can go right to the table of contents, click on sponsorship, and it will jump right to that section. And it will walk you through everything I just went through step by step with pictures. And then, of course, as always, if you have questions, you can IM me, email me, call me, whatever your preferred method is. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now.